Because the Veterans Administration had been at work in our culture for many decades, for many centuries, they knew what to do in the Vietnam War. They had been trafficking for a long time. And they set up Hair, the Broadway musical Hair, with the help of people who were stringers from Godspell, which originated at Carnegie Mellon University, to evoke the host of hell. And the afro was shaped like an atomic blast that advertised this social enigma, this driving force towards the lemmings of the 80s when they fell over the cliff of the pornographic genocide. I was down by Sacred Heart in the Free Clinic one time. The only time the armory, the Catholic armory, ever had a light on so you could see what was inside. There was a fleet of vehicles. They kidnapped and tortured me. They set up an experimental death camp in Highland Park. If you look at the roster of things, you could spend a really long time, probably years and years, exploring the various criminal horrors that were visited on me as an object who was earmarked by the Reagan administration for the pornographic genocide and given no way out. They're still working on the dialectics between Crowley and Christianity that constitutes Foucault's pendulum. And it was international enterprise. Gail Burstyn had the protection of the United Nations, among other things. But when you look at specifically what happened, I turned 33 in lockup because I recognized that Gail Burstyn was at least fabricating the idea that she was in on the hit on Lenin. And because my father, I had a long-standing dispute with the legal services at the University of Pittsburgh, but he was in senior faculty. I decided to talk to the Student Law Association there about what to do. And I was asked not to bother anybody else, but they set up this appointment that I went to cancel out of due caution. And they arrested me for defiant trespass. It was the beginning of the nightmare that led to me being homeless for 2 years and interrogated for 25 years and subject to indecencies like poison in the mouth and Parkinson's by redoubtable Seattle, Washington, supposedly the progressives. Pittsburgh. So I guess that's all I was going to say, but it seems like I should explain why I'm doing this. I'm wearing Weaponized News hat. I like those critters. I don't know if they're on the football team that pulled some of this stuff, or if some of them are. They certainly seem to have eavesdroppers who are. But Sam Chaney seems on the level. He said he was going to mention my Substack page on Monday, which because of my poetry. So I'm going to put this up as a link to my repertoire. It's an explanation for why not all of my work is poetry, which is what I like to do best. I'll put up a link to one of my poems or something. Just to welcome if anybody from, Eileen or Ruckus or somebody decides to waste some time getting to the bottom of enormity. They can take a look at what I'm up to and have to say about my experiences.